One. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. The Courettes are an explosive rock duo from Denmark and Brazil who found the perfect blend between garage rock, 60s girl group, wall of sound, surf music, and doo-wop. Like the Ronettes, meet the Ramones at a wild party at Gold Star Studios' Echo Chamber. Praised by the biggest music magazines around the world in 2020, the band signed with legendary British label Damaged Goods, putting them on the same roster as top international rock icons. Their last and third album, Back in Mono, who we're going to talk about today, was released in the fall of 2021 and is truly a milestone in their career. Their album brings the band in top form, showing great songwriting skills and with broader nuances, influences, and sound qualities to their garage rock recipe. Their last singles, Want You Like a Cigarette, Hop the Twig, one of my favorites, and R.I.N.G.O, all got airplay at BBC Six Radio in England and radio stations in Europe and the USA. Back in Mono got top reviews in the main music magazines like Mojo, Classic Rock and Shindig, and was featured in countless best albums of 2021 lists. Please welcome Flavia Curry and Martin Curry of one of the most hardworking bands on the European rock and roll scene, and with a reputation of delivering full speed, energetic performances. The Courettes to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, guys.
Hi, Ray.
Hi,
Thanks
Ray.
for
How are
having
you?
me.
You guys are awesome, by the way.
Well, thank you.
You really are, man. I've interviewed. I don't know if you know these guys. I've interviewed another band very similar to you guys, husband and wife. They have children. They bring their kids on tours with them. They're called the Dolly Rots. Have you heard of the Dolly Rots?
The name, yeah.
Yeah, the name, yes. I think some people told us about them, just like you're telling about them now. That's
Very
cool. That's
similar. Yeah,
that's cool.
you guys
Oh,
should
we
tour
always
together.
praise yeah, but I always praise people who work hard, bands who work hard. And I know when you're a parent and you actually bring your kids on tour, that's
That's
working
hard
even
work.
harder. We've tried that. That's crazy. So yeah,
I
hats
give
off
you
to them.
guys a lot of credit, man. I got 5 grandkids, and we
Oh
babysit
my
a lot.
God.
So
Oh my God.
I, I can't imagine, recording in a studio and touring and having children. How many kids do you guys have?
We have
Um,
one together, and I have a teenage daughter also.
Oh, you also have a teenage daughter. Cool. Is she going to join the
yeah.
band later?
She's not into it, no,
No.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe in the future,
perhaps in the future. Yeah.
Maybe the little one is 7, so he's
Okay.
interested in organ, keyboards, piano, so that would actually fit all right with us. Let's
Very
see.
cool. Very cool. You could use a keyboard player.
Yeah,
You-
I mean, we don't press the kids, we don't want to be
right.
those parents. Oh, right, your parents are musicians, so you're gonna be a musician too. So I mean, let them just find their way in life, and if they want to be musicians, they're so welcome.
I agree.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so
I,
they
you,
have to find their own way.
you guys have a show tonight in Germany. Is that right?
No,
Oh, it's not
Um,
tonight?
oh God,
no. I
I
hope
hope not.
don't. I really hope not.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was
no,
the freak show S in Germany? When was
yeah,
that?
that's next month. That's in June.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's in
yeah,
June. Okay, I thought that was tonight.
yeah. That's in June. No, actually, we just come back from the US. Our first USA tour. We've been home for 3 days now,
3 4 days.
so a little bit jet lag still, and actually we're gonna be hitting the road again in June. So we have like very rare 2 weeks at home without shows, but we have songwriting sessions and studio sessions, but not concerts. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's very rare in Argentina. I think first time we have 2 weeks off since probably 2021.
Yeah,
Something like that when Back in Moto was released. So we've been in a crazy round of shows everywhere. So 2 weeks we're like, starting to, we don't even know what to do, man. We're like, well, where are we playing tonight? And I said, we're going to play in Germany. We're like, oh my God. So that's in June. That's in June. Yeah.
The U.S. states, was that in L.A.? Did you play L.A.? Is that where?
Yeah, we played LA. We played West Coast. We made 10 concerts in 10 days.
Oh, you did. I went on your website. I was looking. I didn't see that. It did. Is it updated? Your tour schedule?
Well, I think so. I mean, we
Huh.
just played, so it disappears the dates after. Huh?
Oh,
We just
okay.
played.
All right.
We came back 3 days, but we're gonna be back in the US in September, October, and that's the East Coast. So you're very welcome to come check us out.
Yeah, if you have any dates in Florida, let me know. I'll be there.
Oh, not in Florida, actually.
Oh,
No,
no.
no, but nearby Memphis. I don't know. Actually, this is like crazy in USA. So,
Yeah,
well, I'll send you the 2 dates. We're gonna be at Gunner Festival in Memphis, which
hmm
should be a great festival. And
right.
we're gonna New York, and we're gonna be in Washington D.C. What else I can remember right now? Detroit. Really
Okay.
looking forward. Motortown. So yeah, it's gonna be 11 dates that time.
I'm originally from the
South
DC
Florida,
area.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's gonna
yeah,
be
it's a
awesome.
good music scene in DC. It really is.
Nice.
Great. Okay, good to
Yeah,
know.
they're gonna love you. America's gonna love you, man.
Oh my
I
God,
mean,
they should.
you guys are incredible.
Thanks
I
a
got
lot.
some great
Thank
things to say about you too, by the way. Okay, first of all, I'm hoping because the Courettes brought back the sounds of the 60s, history will repeat itself. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because to me, that
Amen.
was the greatest time in music. I grew up in the 60s.
I
And
Oh,
agree.
lucky you. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we totally agree. We didn't grow up in the 60s, unfortunately, but it was such a good time for being alive, I think, because it was not only music, but a freedom and, to be, it was okay to dare the establishment and think differently and break the rules. And we're both absolutely in love with 60s music and also 60s design and
Yeah.
beatnik literature and just like everything, basically. Cars.
Nice. Yeah.
The 60s cars, they just look much better than the ones nowadays, isn't it?
I wish that the young kids would see it your way as well because they have everything at their disposal to look back and find out the music, back in their mom and dad's time, which I did. I knew everything about my dad's time.
Yeah,
I
me
went
too.
back to the 1920s.
Yeah, okay, I'm the same here. And that's very interesting what you say. I mean, some kids do, some kids do exactly what we did because if you think about it, because sometimes we also check about the like your daughter's generation and all that.
hmm
But we were not I mean, in my school, I was the only one doing that. So we were kind of rare too. So sometimes I think, kids those days. I mean, no, there's always going to be a misfit somewhere who is in love with some kind of art form and
Right.
dig and dip into that, just like we did with rock music or music in general, swing, jazz, or whatever in the 20s,
Exactly.
Bessie Smith or whatever you're listening from that time, But there's always gonna be us,
hmm
somewhere in that generation. So that's what I
Exactly.
believe. Yeah.
You guys mesh so well together, and I know it blew you away when you had the record collection was the same when you guys first
Yeah. Oh,
met.
you know that story, yeah. A
How
true
cool
love
was
story,
that? Yeah, that's all that matters, really.
isn't it?
It's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
good foundation.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the first thing you look at a person when you meet. Okay, what's your music taste?
that's it.
I mean, everything goes from there. So Martin passed the test, so that was great.
Yeah, I mean, if Martin was listening to rap, it would have never happened.
No, no,
No, but
exactly.
that's the fun part of this
Yeah.
because we can also agree on very good hip hop from the earlier days, Run
Right,
DMC, Beastie Boys, and
right.
Migos attitude.
Cypress Hill, and
I
you
like
know
Cypress Hill.
even the hip hop we could can agree on. It's a
The guilty
uh,
pleasure,
yeah,
musical
no, but
guilty pleasure.
some of the old school hip hop was fantastic stuff because it was also very they used so much soul, so many
Yeah,
samples
like
of
the funk
soul,
drummer,
Right.
beats and
soul
all
and the
that.
funk, and
James Brown.
so it was yeah, it was good. Yeah, man, we like We like the old school hip hop.
Yeah,
too.
but if you just came talking about old school hip hop, maybe we're not. We're
No.
not gonna be here today. But
No, but you know a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
a lot
I
about
I love
stuff
music.
too.
I
Yeah.
love music, and for example, we're also big soul fans. That's why I
Oh, me
mentioned like
too. R&B. Yeah.
Motown and James Brown, Ike Tina Turner, and like we were big fans of that too. So kind of
Yeah.
blends the whole thing blends together in the music we
Yeah.
make. But also the love story started from there. But you said
Sure.
you told me it was like love at first record or whatever. It was the Phil Spector.
Yeah, it was
compilation,
that was when I really fell in love with Flavia because I have this super rare back to mono
Hmm.
Phil Spector
It's a
compilation
compilation.
box.
He
And,
probably has it too.
You've heard,
Well,
I
don't
don't know.
fall in love with Ray either.
But
Flavia.
Flavia is the only one I ever met who has the same box. And
That's
also to the
incredible.
day,
Yeah.
she's the only one who still has the box. So.
It was meant to be. It was
It
meant
was
to
meant
be.
to be, exactly.
Yeah.
In a school band.
Martin, I love your
Mhm.
artwork.
Thank you.
I mean, you captured the 60s, man. I mean, I love how the albums look kind of older,
Yeah.
and just the title Back to Mono. I mean, that's very ingenious. It really is.
Yeah, thank you. I like this. I think it's a good title too, Back in Mono. It's
It
because
is.
the whole idea was that Back to Mono was Phil Spector's slogan, and
Hmm.
of course we could not totally take that title, but then we wanted to do this Phil Spector Wall of Sound record, but and then we came up with the second album was in stereo, and that was actually a mistake. But then the first foundations of the third album actually came with the second album when it was about to be finished because it was supposed to be in mono.
Hmm.
The producer Kim Kicks and the technician Nicola Heyman we just found out in the mastering process that there was actually some stuff in stereo. So they didn't tell us, they didn't choose to make it mono. So the whole idea began with the Small Seeds with a Back in Mono album,
Hmm.
with the second album there, because now we could actually go back
First record.
in mono again
Yeah.
after the second album, which was stereo.
And of course, just to go very deep in this Phil Spector and Go group.
Yeah, it opened up the whole new sound we do, and
which we always loved, but
Yeah.
it was always there somewhere, but not so dominant as in Bakimono. I mean, if you hear the early stuff too, I mean, even the name is like the Courettes, of course, is inspired in the Ronettes.
Right.
But
Right.
but we actually allow ourselves, you know what? Let's do a girl group inspired album. Of course, garage rock's gonna be there too. We're gonna blend it and gonna see what's going on. Maybe we're gonna lose some friends, more hardcore garage rock lovers. And actually, it didn't have. I mean, it was a big move. I think we were heads up also to dare doing something different. We like
Sure.
challenges. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not next album is not gonna be a Bakimono number 2. We
Right.
want to do different stuff. We want to evolve as musicians, as songwriters, and a guitar player, drum player, or whatever. So we took a chance, and it was the best thing we did because people love the album. So
Yeah.
you never know. The best thing is like to please yourself and do things you love.
Exactly. Yeah.
So some people are gonna love it too.
Yeah.
So
You guys are great musicians, and to hear that great sound from two people, that's amazing. It really is. I never thought could be possible, but it is.
Yeah, we didn't know if it was going to be possible also because we, just before we did this, we knew we were going to make Back in Mono album go really deep in the Spectre sound and the songwriting. But so in 19, we built our own studio for making this album here. We built echo chambers.
Yep.
We spent all the money everything we owned for building this studio because we could see 2020 was going to be really a good year.
We're booking all festivals.
2020, we could, all the money invested, we could recoup and we could still make a living.
And record the album.
and then March came, you know. So yeah,
Then pandemics came and we were like absolutely broke with a great studio.
we have a great studio.
That's
Bro.
funny.
Yeah, so I mean, then we did the album, so it was the right thing to do, anyways.
Yeah.
But it was a roller coaster, and you know that's the kind of commitment we had. We
Sure.
built a studio, we built a real echo chamber. Plug in, you just press a button, and you have
No, but
whatever echo chamber number
we
100.
built all the stuff, made all the songs, recorded the stuff. But the thing is, we didn't have anyone who could recreate the real, you know, make a real wall of sound, because you know, since Phil Spector, a lot of musicians and bands and many has tried to recreate that sound, but no one could.
Exactly.
No one has. I've never heard anyone
And
coming.
not even Phil Spector.
Not even Spector
In
after
his
he
later
left the
life,
Gold
yeah.
Star Studios in Hollywood. So, so the thing is that we couldn't. We
Find a mixing.
we needed to find this mixing guy and
Mhm.
or girl. But we tried some different people, and it sounded great, but it was, you know, nowhere near the real wall of sound. So then luckily we found, by a long winding road, we found Seiki Sato in Tokyo in Japan.
Wow, in Japan, huh?
Japan, yeah.
Yeah, he mixed the album.
And
Really?
he's,
Is
I
he
think-
an engineer? The engineer? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, him. He's a mixing guy. Yeah, and
Oh,
And we found him by chance because
Yeah.
before we had Back in Mono, we have in 2019 a Christmas single.
right.
We had this idea, let's make a Christmas single. And of course, first thing that came in mind, okay, the Christmas, Phil Spector's Christmas album.
Right.
Let's just clean that vibe. And we did a great song, and we recorded, but the mixing was never there. So we released it anyways. We tried
Mhm.
different mixing engineers, and then we were in this top 5, top 10 Christmas singles somewhere. And we just clicked number 4. We were number 5, and it was number 4. There was this Japanese girl called Soleil,
Mhm.
and it was a huge sound. It was absolutely what we were looking for. And Martin managed to track down, okay, who mixed this track here in Japan? And we managed to find Seiki Sato, and he was also very important in. Bakimono is the work of very few people. I mean, we did all the overdubs, because some people think we used a backup band in the record, in the album. But it was us doing overdubs, and the producer, Søren Christensen, he played a mellotron and a little organ, some things like that. And then we have Seiki Sato doing the mixing. So
Right.
that was the team. And so we were just lucky to find the right people to work with.
No, we
Man,
were lucky to find one person in the world,
It's amazing.
one person in the whole world who can actually do that sound.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really is. You know, if you get a hit Christmas song, you're in. That's it. It's over.
Exactly.
Multi-millionaires.
Yeah, man.
I think that's good Christmas song number 2. Maybe.
Yeah, no, there's so many good. But we actually managed to do a fantastic Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Yeah, no, this is really up there. It's just just need the people to actually discover that song.
We just need to get the 2 million.
Yeah.
You know that echo chamber background. I've got a jukebox behind me, and it's all
Really?
45s from the 60s. And
It's a
like you
rock
said,
over.
there's nothing like the sound of those 45s back in the 60s. Nothing.
Oh no, exactly. They sound. I mean, it's timeless. You know,
It's
because
so clear, you know, and
it's so clear. We were talking
Yeah.
about
That's
this.
one of the
last week,
reasons.
and
That's one of the reasons why Phil Spector actually went so deep on this mono sound, because he thought this mono was so much stronger. It was so much louder. It was so much more massive sound
also in the
coming out of the
jukeboxes,
jukeboxes.
you
So
know,
that's one
they
of the
try to
reasons why-
they try to recreate some of the Beatles 45s, and it sounds terrible. I mean, the mix is terrible. You have some instruments here, some instruments there. You can't do that, you know.
No, exactly.
You got to leave it alone, you know.
You think that too.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
best song ever. But also they have like the biggest studios back then, you know. But it was a
Right.
matter of taste and great musicianship also, you know. So great engineers. It's just it's funny because we were talking about this, like it doesn't get dated. Because if you hear, for example, grunge recording, I grew up in the 90s, of course.
Hmm.
I was influenced by grunge, Riot Girls, and all that.
Sure.
But if you listen nowadays, it's so dated.
Some of it, yeah.
The same guitar sound, isn't it? I mean, most of it,
Yeah.
the mastering and all that. Also, the 80s, you'll definitely see, okay, that this phase guitar or whatever,
Yeah.
it's just get dated. But if you hear some of the 60s stuff, they actually sound very actual,
Super fresh stuff.
so or fresh to hear too. So that's kind of amazing what they achieve. But we always, we're very deeply influenced by the 60s, but we also like to say that what we do is a new take on the 60s, because we like to be a contemporary band. So what can you do with these influences and actually create something new? We never wanted to do like covers or be a kind of tribute band or retro and all that. I mean, some people call us retro, but we want to do our own material. We want to push it forward, all these influences. And
I tell you
nowadays,
what, most girl bands in the 60s would have strived for a single song that sounds like your entire collection. I mean,
Nice.
you know how many hits
oh my
you would
God.
have had back in the 60s from your catalog, right or wrong? It's true,
Yeah.
because they're all, you wrote them all, and you capture that sound. They're all hits.
Oh my God, thank
Thank you,
you.
man.
That's
Yeah.
it's the thing we cherish the most nowadays is the songwriting. So many bands have a great performance and they look cool, but they don't have songs. In the garage scene, is very, very common actually. We play with a lot of bands, they look great, but the sound is good, but there's no songs. And we want to write better and better songs, because that's what it's all about. Then you can have a great stage performance, then you can have whatever you want to have, but the
Right.
songs have to be there. That's what music is about. Even being a good guitar player, what are you going to be a good guitar player without a song to play?
No, but that's
Exactly.
also
The
the
song
fun
is all
part.
about the song.
You're totally
Yeah.
right, and that's the fun part, because especially the garage scene, which we also love, of course, but all the bands are digging. They're going so deep in the looks and the
The sound,
instruments
the
and the
fuzz.
sound, fuzz, the fuzz, and all that stuff. But no one is digging the fact that all the bands in the 60s were all chasing hit songs.
Right.
Everyone wanted
That's right.
45s with big hits.
Yeah.
There was such a big focus on songwriting and all these. They go so 100%. Everything's correct. Even the way they dance in the after party is so 60s. But they just totally forgot the fact that, hey man, everyone was chasing hit songs in the
Yeah,
60s.
and writing the
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So,
Yeah. If you
yeah.
think about Motown, for example, it's like 3 minutes Pearl. All the songs are perfectly built,
Hmm.
perfectly written, and then we totally dig this songwriters of Motown, Dozier Holland
Yeah.
and also Carole King but of course also in the bands there were songwriters in the bands, fantastic, like Brian Wilson or John Lennon, and so this is just like come on, that's the main thing about the 60s, were great songs.
That's
Then the
yeah,
rest came.
yeah. And your writing's incredible. I mean, the songwriting, your skills are incredible. They really
That's
are.
really nice. That's really nice when somebody acknowledges that the songwriting is one of
I'm
the
gonna
strengths.
I'm gonna give an
Thank you.
example of some of your songwriting.
Okay.
R.I.N.G.O, which was really cool. I mean, that was a great idea he came up with. Listen to this, right? My heart is beating faster. He's the one I'm after. Looks so handsome playing drums. He doesn't miss a beat. So groovy and so sweet. Boots and suit and bubblegum. He's in my favorite band. I'm walking in the sand. All my loving is set to stun. Some say Pete Best is. I'm all the rest. Pete is the best. I'll wear your ring and I'll sing your song. Forget John Lennon, George. Well, he's okay. Done with McCartney. I want Richard Starkey. He doesn't seem to care about our love affair. Always chasing girls and fun. Singing love and peace. In my mind, there's no ease. I mean, that's awesome. Such a fun tune,
Yeah, that's a fun one. That was really fun to write.
I interviewed
Yeah.
Pete Best. I should
Peter's
send that
best.
to him.
Some say Peter's best and not like all the rest.
Yeah,
That
very
I
cool.
even laugh.
No, that's
I
a
even
very
laugh when I wrote this.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, and we love
Oh,
Ringo.
were you a Ringo fan of all the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of all the Beatles, I mean, I love John Lennon most, but
yeah.
Lorraine is cool, and he's alive, and
yeah.
we love this the underdogs, and everybody is so obvious. Okay, John and Paul and Josh, but who has Ringo as the favorite Beatle? I mean, well, not even me to be sincere, but I think it's them in a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the band was worried about Ringo, but he did pretty well on his own, didn't he?
He did too. Well, yeah, he's still there, and
Yeah.
actually, we follow him in social medias. It's just hilarious to live in a time and he like Ringo. I don't know if you follow him, like putting filters in Instagram. It's just like hilarious. He has such a good sense of humor.
He does.
So and we like also to to do songs like Ringo, for example. That is, I mean, it's fun.
It is
Okay.
fun.
Not
Yeah.
good to take it serious like 100% of the time. So.
Well, the songs on Mono, man, back in Mono, I love them. I listened to the album the other day. Some of my favorites. I Want You Like a Cigarette, which is a great title. I Can Hardly Wait. Sounds, very much like the girl bands of the 60s. Just an incredible album. The Ringo album. Nighttime, The Boy of Mine, another great track. I'm trying to see the songs the ones I really really loved. Too Late to Say I'm Sorry was a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, yeah! Wow.
And Hop the Twig. That is such a catchy tune. It's got that surfer sound intro.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a little bit of the B-52s,
Oh my God, we love them too.
Yeah.
They were very 60s inspired, and I'm a big fan of also of the freshness and the crazy guitar playing. It's very very inspired, and we love also the two vocals. But that's cool. I never thought about B-52s and Hop the Twig, so that's awesome.
You put the whole entire generation into that whole album.
Nice.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, because as I said, we're above all we're rock and roll lovers. So of course we have more like garage rock and Go groups as influences, but I love B-52s too. As I said before, I like Riot Girls. So I like Motown, so it's like a big ode to everything we love, and we just blend it all together. So that's really cool with the B-52s. I never thought about it.
Yeah, you should do a cover of Love Shack. That would be cool. Yeah, people would like to hear that tune again.
So much about covers, but that's a great track.
That's a great track. Yeah,
that would be awesome. Maybe
talk about Misfits and Freaks. Talk about that track.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, that was this song has a story. I mean, I think all of them have stories. We write about things that happen in our lives. And this one, we were actually back in 2020. We were touring France when pandemics, broke loose in the world, and we were like still touring in France. Things were not closed, and there was no lockdown. And suddenly, Denmark went on lockdown, and people were like writing us, "Okay, what are you guys doing? Come back home. You're in France in the middle of a tour. It's pandemic." So we said, "Well, it's nothing happening here." And then the tour continued. And suddenly it started to get a little weird. For example, the show in France, actually, people start getting sick. Some people we knew. But the thing is, the last show, it was supposed to be a big capacity. I don't remember how much. And then it was moved to a smaller capacity. And then suddenly in that same day of the last show, we got a message through the promoters that French government decided that in that very night at 12 o'clock at midnight, France would go in lockdown. So we played the last evening before lockdown, and they even put our show a little earlier because then people could be back home
Right.
for being in a lockdown. So that night was very bittersweet because
Hmm.
nobody knew what it was a lockdown, and we had this big dinner with the promoters. Remember that? And we were then, oh, we're gonna be isolated when we come back home, and gonna be only the two of us. And it was like last time seeing people, and the people in the show, the audience, they were absolutely nuts. They danced like there was no tomorrow, and because nobody knew if there was a tomorrow, if there was the last rock show ever we were going to see. People thought it was the end of the world. So then I wrote on the way home. It was a crazy. It was totally like we don't even remember nowadays. It just passed so fast. But it seemed like this science fiction, low budget
Right.
science fiction. Because people were telling us, oh, they're gonna be in the border, just dressed like astronauts, taking your temperature. You're not gonna be allowed in Denmark. It was crazy. We were so afraid. And then I wrote this text. Let's have a party at the end of the world, because it was exactly how it felt. It's even hard to remember nowadays, but we were thinking also about the misfits and freaks, because
Hmm.
it's the people of our community. We were worried back then with the pandemics. What's going to be left? Okay, maybe it's the last rock show ever, but if we survive pandemics, what are the kind of people who dig our music style, our niche, our community, rock and roll community, who plays in medium or small venues?
Right.
The misfits and freaks, like this one, that the one in the school who actually digs 1920s music, or so what are we gonna? Because we knew of Foo Fighters and all that, they're
Yeah.
gonna have audience and their stadiums and all that. But what about us?
Hmm.
What about the counterculture, the misfits and freaks? So it was all this early pandemics feeling just compressed in that song. So that's the story with misfits and freaks. And I love the backing vocal. It's a very girl group, and I had it in a dream. I
Huh.
was we were actually missing something for the chorus. It was just without the backing vocals, it was not strong enough. And then I just had this dream. Wow, I know it. We're
I
gonna
was,
put
I was
some
looking at some comments around the internet. They were saying your band was the only band touring in the whole world during the
oh yeah,
pandemic.
that's true. That's true.
That's
Actually,
funny.
we yeah, actually we did a lot of shows in the pandemic. We were all
Yeah.
the time in open up somewhere, and people booked us. It was crazy thing. And but of course, with all the cares, people were wearing masks and all this.
Yeah.
We're vaccinated, both of us. But actually, in Germany, that was 2020 when it opened up in Germany in the fall.
Right.
So we did a tour there that people had to sit down and all that. And there was a newspaper who called us the only touring band in the world.
In the world.
Because I mean, in March when things get, other bands were touring when it all hit up, but there in the fall was like, okay, wow, you're like the only band touring right now. So yeah, we did it.
Maybe you should be in the Guinness Book of World Records for that or something, you know?
Well, I
That
think
would be
so.
nice.
I
That
think
would
it
be
should be there twice, because
Yeah.
I also did the concert the day after I gave birth to our son. So I never heard anyone doing that. So
No, no. Everybody was
I
so
mean, maybe.
scared. You know who was more scared than anything was the groups. I talked to a lot of groups during the pandemic. I got a lot of interviews during that time because they were all home. And they
Oh
were
Mm.
yeah,
more scared than the audience,
Hmm.
because they didn't want to
yeah.
catch anything. They're the ones who canceled a lot of the shows.
I don't think we ever thought about
And
that.
we canceled so many shows. I mean, cancels were where
No,
shows
we
were
didn't cancel
canceled.
it. We didn't
Shows were
cancel
canceled.
anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Were we so afraid? I don't remember.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
I think we were like careful, with
Hmm.
the washing hands and the distancing and all that. I remember this big alcohol gel in the merch and all that. But I don't think it was actually scared. But we live of this too. It was actually very hard times for us economically. Uh,
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to I remember first time we did a show that actually there was an audience. It was an open air festival. The
Hmm.
people were allowed to stand up, and there was this young people like in a mosh pit. I
Hmm.
cried because I was thinking I was missing for us going out when we actually went to do this fall tour or whatever. It's like, wow, that makes my life gives sense to my life. You know, that's
Mhm.
what we love. We live what we love. And just being trapped at home, it was so also very challenging mentally, I think, for everybody, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
Us, it was like, and then when I saw these kids, you know, being allowed to dance in a rock show, I was like, wow, I was just
Yeah.
got too many chills, and I was like crying. So that was the size of how I missed
Mhm.
actually a community and a rock and roll, a good rock and roll show, and
Yeah.
what it can do. How this that everybody's together with the same feeling, together in the same vibe, you know.
You know,
So
people to this
that
day are
was bigger than the fear. That was bigger than the fear. Yeah.
people are still starved for entertainment even today, you know, and that's why there's so many shows that are sold out,
Yeah, that's
you know.
true. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
because
And
of what
I
happened. That was a terrible time. I hope that
cherish.
never happens again.
Me too. But
I
we should,
hated wearing a mask.
yeah, we should cherish the more
Yes,
we can.
I agree.
We're leading a normal life nowadays. How cool is that? So
It is really.
looking
Sometimes we take it
forward
for
to more
granted.
art.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't take it for granted.
Here's a song on the album. You guys have your own sound, even though you know, you still sound like the girl bands and the 60s thing, but you got your own skills. You got your own style, which is great. But one song I noticed on the album kind of reminded me of Blondie, Edge of My Nerves.
Oh my God. Okay,
It
blonde.
it sounded a lot like One Way or Another, you know,
Oh my
kind of that.
God, really?
Does
Oh, you know, I love Blondie, but
Mhm.
that's
absolutely
the first
haven't
time
we?
we
Yeah,
hear.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
this song came out very garagey, so it was
I
like
loved it.
we're actually getting a little out of the girl group concept here with that one, you know. But that's
Yeah,
cool.
we went a little psych on that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I liked it. I did like
Yeah,
that.
you know, we thought about garage rock and psych rock, but
Right.
Blondie, all right. I mean,
Yes.
I think that's a compliment for me. You know, I
Yeah,
love
no,
Blondie.
that's
They were
I,
actually great songwriters.
I heard it. And sometimes, you know, your subconscious picks up things. You know,
Of
that's what
course.
happens to all musicians. You can't help
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it does. It
You
does. It's
know?
only 12 notes, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. Where else can you go? I mean, you know,
Exactly. If you think
music
there's
wise.
so much music being made in the world for centuries, and there's
Yeah.
only 12 tones, huh?
Did you read about that Ed Sheeran lawsuit about
Yeah, a little bit. I
that was
mean, when
ridiculous. That song did
you
not,
wanted
it didn't sound anything like Marvin Gaye.
to,
Not even
you know,
close.
sometimes, yeah, the chord sequences are used in many songs, you know.
Yeah,
If you think
that was
about the sequence
ridiculous.
of Stand By Me, you know, it's like so many songs have the
Yeah.
same sequence, you know,
If
harmonic
anybody
sequence.
ripped off people, it would have been Led Zeppelin because they ripped off a lot of the old blues
Blues.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And it was
mean,
obvious.
exactly. I mean, the blues guys, cool of them. They've been ripped off
Big time.
for many musicians, big time. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's retrofitting to the future. You know,
Right.
and everybody had. I heard an interview with Paul McCartney saying, "Wow, we stole from everybody." You know, if he says that, you know, I mean, they're a big Buddy Holly fans. Don't let them big Buddy Holly fans. So you can just hear the influences and look what they did. You
Yeah.
know, we wanted to copy Buddy Holly, but look what he ended up. So
Exactly.
this is the cool thing. You want to be a blues dude, but then you end up being Led Zeppelin. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
that's where you actually when you fail to copy somebody, then that's where you're at. That's
Yeah.
the cool thing about you. You know,
Exactly. I think the Beatles took a lot from Little Richard. I mean, you
a
know,
lot. I mean,
the
everybody
early
too.
days. Phew.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
Little Richard is one of my biggest. I have to find like 5 icons.
Hmm.
Definitely, Little Richard would be in the top 5. He's amazing. He set up so many paths to everybody,
Hmm.
and being a queer, you know, and being black. Yeah, he's just an amazing songwriter, amazing singer, and amazing showman. So he
Yep.
set all the paths, you know, absolutely.
You
And
know,
there's
Elvis.
that he was copying his Carita. So.
Elvis. Let's see. Elvis told Tom Jones. I heard an interview that Tom Jones did. We just saw Tom Jones a few days ago. He was here in
Really?
Sarasota.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Was it good?
Oh, he was incredible. His voice has not changed. He's still
Yeah,
fantastic.
I heard that he still have it. That's
Yeah, he's got a young band too, a nice young
oh,
group behind him now. It's more of a rock show, actually. It was really good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but he said that Chuck Berry. He said Elvis said, "I'm not the king of rock and roll. Chuck Berry is." That's what Elvis said. That was interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, rock and roll started black, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Very
Here's
underrated.
here's a comment on YouTube about you guys that kind of says it all. He says, "Saw these guys in London a few weeks ago. Love what they do, and records are worth hold of. Pure joy. They tour a lot, so catch them if you can. Brilliant live." So there you go. That's your live show right there,
Thank you.
and that's from
And
your
the live show,
fans.
yeah, thank you. And the
Yep.
live show is funny because we were also very aware of it back in Mono. How can we play the songs live, instead of 10 guitar tracks with the one guitar, instead
It's
of
amazing.
percussion, timpani or piano, or so
Yeah.
we do only the two of us, and I think we deliver all the songs I mean, it's not the same, it's two different universes, studio and live, but the songs are there. A good song is a good song with
Right.
the acoustic guitar or with the whole orchestra. Yeah. So
I don't know how you remember your catalog. How do you do it, man? I give you guys a lot of credit. You know?
There's many songs we have to.
Yeah, some songs sometimes I have to dust
Oh,
off.
yeah,
We don't play all the songs in the show. That would be a too long show. But yeah, but I mean, we rehearse sometimes too. I mean, we were touring so much. We did 142 shows last year.
Wow.
So there was not much time for rehearsing, just songwriting and recording.
Mhm.
This is really dig doing that.
Yeah.
But let's see. Now we have also songwriting, so we're gonna be back in studio rehearsing too. Maybe remember a song or two.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
You said you want to maybe take it in a different direction, maybe in the future. What direction would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
But the next, we are already working on the next album. It's
Okay.
supposed to, if anything all goes well, it's going to be in the mid next year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
around May.
The thing is, we discovered this. We didn't discover. We managed to recreate this wall of sound and making wall of sound our own sound, and we are super proud of this. We see this as so unique because there's no one sounds like this. And so
Right.
this is our thing, So this is definitely, the cool thing about
It's still
if you
there, it's
use
gonna
the
be
wall of sound as a circle, you can go everywhere. You can do the doo-wop, you can go 60s girl group, you can go Beatles, you can go Ramones, you can go even all the way up to India, like Star Sailor was some of the last Spectre stuff. So
Mhm.
Spectre as a producer and the wall of sound as a sensor, we can go everywhere.
Yeah, it was
So
through
this
the
is-
history of rock and roll.
So he is the. So with this as this, then we can go everywhere with
soul music with Tina Turner.
with the soul, yeah.
So we're really digging
Yeah.
this more soul vibe and also a little bit more psych vibe also.
We dig now. We just came home from California, and of course we are super inspired by this California sound right now with
Yeah, I mean,
with
I grew up listening to the Birds, for example.
exactly.
Right.
And it's so grateful that. So it's just so surreal to be there in San Francisco and on the West Coast. It was a big blessing. It was just really cool to tour there. Totally memory lane for me because I was digging these bands at 12, 13 years old. So it's a part of my life too. So all this is going to be blended together, and also these duos, like where with vocals, female and male vocals, like for example, Nancy Sinatra and me, Wood or Tina Turner. So we want to put more like Martin singing, and let's see, but
let's see. Right now, it's gonna be a wall of sound, wall of soul.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
last song. We're not finished yet.
We're
but
not finished. Let's see what ends up.
write more songs and then select the best ones, and and maybe see, okay, we go more this vibe here or whatever. But right now it's a little open, but all this is coming, and just other influences are also knocking in the door. And just wanted to come in and blend.
Martin, can you sing R&B?
If I can sing it,
Yeah.
No, yeah, kind of. I can do the screaming.
I'd love to hear you guys do like a duet, an R&B duet. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we did the one with us talking about my baby.
Yeah.
We have the Back and B-sides album.
That was cool.
He's singing and not talking about my baby. We did a video also. So that will actually where we found, wow, it actually sounds good with Martin's vocal as a lead, because it's always been doing backing vocals.
Yeah. It's we're gonna open up a little bit more about this with not much, but a little bit. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a very good record with we have
read some songs and we think, okay, oh my god.
Listening to the demos we did, and it's like really amazes even us.
Yeah, we showed some people in the US too, and they were like, oh my god, with the sound check, we try something new, and oh, what was that song? That's great. Yeah. So I think they're gonna totally pass the test, explode the test meter.
I think we just made the title now, Wall of Soul.
Wall of Soul,
Wall of Soul, yeah.
That's
like that.
We just had that.
Don't take our idea, guys listening.
Very cool.
Now there's gonna be like 10 bands. 10 albums, Wall of Soul now. So now you can edit this one here.
No. Oh, let's see.
I've been trying to pitch a sitcom based on my book, and my book is based from the 60s. It starts in the 60s. So if my sitcom makes it, I'm gonna get you guys to do the theme music. That for sure.
What's the name of your book?
Well, the sitcom is called Retail Baby. It's about me growing up in the family business in DC, and it was in the 60s. So here's the book. It's based on this book. It's called Check the G's. That was my book, but Retail Baby is going to be the name of the sitcom. That's me. In front of the store in DC.
Oh, it looks great.
But it's all based, it's started in the 60s, like the early 60s, and your music would be fantastic.
Please let us know. It will be a pleasure.
Oh yeah. Actually, you guys should be doing a lot of, shows, TV shows and movies and that kind of thing. A lot of soundtracks maybe. You'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, I think so too. People, please contact us.
Yeah, definitely. Love your music, man. I really do. I love your music. Here's a question I ask everybody. I get some really interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be? You guys can each, answer individually if you want to.
Anyone we can collaborate.
Sing with, play with, perform with. No, you can pick a whole band if you want to.
Now, I would like to write a song with John Lennon.
With John Lennon.
Yeah, wow. That would be absolutely my top songwriting dream.
You know what I would like to do? I would like to be in the recording studio with Etta James when she did I'd Rather Go Blind.
Oh, wow. I
wanted to see that session there.
That would be cool.
That one take there, I wanted to see that one.
Yeah. That's a good answer. That's the first answer I've gotten about Etta James, I think.
Not writing, not playing, but
no, but there's I wanted to see that one.
Very cool.
But we always thought also of putting inviting some of the icons from the girl groups to.
Yeah, this is a big dream, Darling Love.
Yeah, we think Darling Love.
Mary Wise of Shangri-La.
Yeah, because now, but it's dead or alive. So of course, Ronnie Spector doing backing vocals for us would be absolutely thrilled.
What is the girl from Crystals? She's called.
Well, Darlene Love did the recordings, isn't it? The legend that she actually did the recordings, and they put somebody to call the Crystals.
No, that was the Blossoms.
No, also the Crystals.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But that would be awesome. That's Darlene Love. We actually wrote her. She never
Mhm.
replied.
No.
Oh, she didn't, huh?
Darlene, if you're listening, please
Darlene, write us back.
Huh. Well, I've got some
That's
influence. I'll
realized.
give it a go.
All right.
Hey, write
Thank
them.
you.
No, that could be fantastic. We have so many, girl group songs. So to have a real girl group could be really fantastic.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And,
And so people asking us, oh, don't you want to put a bass player? You know what? If Joe Entwistle was alive and wanted to play with us, that
Mhm.
would be fun. He was the
At,
best.
at this point, I don't think you need a bass player, you know?
Wow, James, we don't. It's just,
Yeah.
talking about dreams.
I think Entwistle is better than James Jamerson.
No, I mean rock bass player. I mean, I have many best of. It's
I
not
think
just.
Jamerson could not play with Entwistle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James Jameson would be
Do
amazing.
it with one
with
fucking
one
finger.
He does it so much. Yeah. I mean, if that's the level of bass players who wanted to play with us, then we could consider.
Karaoke is still alive.
Derek is still alive. That's true. She's awesome.
How about Diana Ross?
Oh my God, backing vocals with Diana Ross. Wow.
We should work with Tina Turner. She's still in.
Tina Turner.
She's not
Tina
living
Turner?
so far away. She lives close by anyway.
Absolutely obsession for me.
Yeah.
She lives close by? Is that what you said?
No, she lives in
No,
what,
she lives in
Switzerland?
Switzerland. Yeah, but I
Switzerland,
think
yeah. A lot of them live
she's
in
retired.
Switzerland. Yeah.
Not so far away.
No, but she's retired. I don't know what kind of health.
Yeah,
what's her
that's true.
condition right now. But she's, for me, since I'm 4 years old, she's such a symbol of badass performer and a great lead vocal, and she's just amazing. If she ever want to play with us, sing with us.
I'm going to send you some suggestions of people that are still around, people that I talk to, because I talk to a lot of R&B guys too, from the 60s. So, yeah.
Wow.
I'll give you some suggestions and people that I can get a hold of.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we can do some featuring some guest appearance in the album. That would be awesome.
Yeah. They love to do it with you. I mean, no one's got that sound anymore. It's bring back a lot of memories for them. For sure.
God.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do. Definitely.
Thanks, awesome.
Well, let's see. Did I touch on anything? I just want to mention you can buy Boom Dynamite. That's out. That's also out on vinyl, right?
Yes, orange vinyl, by the way.
Really? It's very cool,
Yeah, and it's also exclusive for US and then Canada market. So
okay, very cool.
They're gonna be sold out fast. So.
Yeah, Back in Mono is out. We can get that as well. You've got your own, let's see, www.thecourettes.com/shop. And that's where you can buy all your albums, right?
Yes. And also at Damaged Goods Records.
Okay.
You can find all the albums and they ship worldwide. So.
Oh, good. Awesome. And also your website, www.thecourettes.com. You're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And I was looking at all your concert schedule here. You got some shows in June, right?
Yeah, we have shows in June, and we're gonna update this week the website.
Okay.
We have some shows in June around Europe, and we're gonna be in July around Europe too. We're gonna go back to the USA in September and October. So East Coast tour, if everybody's just it's just because it's not announced yet, but it's gonna be announced next month.
Okay.
So we have actually 70 dates.
Wow.
2023. Wow. Left. We just played around 50, 55 until now.
Who does all your scheduling for your touring?
We have some bookers. We have American booking. We have a UK booker. That's PRB Presents, and we have Otis Tours taking care of Europe. So we have a team that And right now we just managed to end the fall tour, and now it's coming summer festivals, and then we're gonna actually in the next days announce most of the dates. But USA is gonna be announced in June, but it's East Coast end of
Okay.
September, start of October, including Gunner Fest in Memphis, which we're really looking forward to go to Memphis and do all the R.I.N.G.O church and just go around and breathe the air of Memphis. You know, it's an amazing city. And that's it. We we have a festival in Ireland, and now in June, start of June, we have a UK tour in early September before USA. So we're quite busy. 70 more shows to come.
Yeah.
Only this year. So please tune in the website in the next days. The dates are going to be announced. But festivals in Europe are the ones in June are already out.
When you go to Memphis, are you going to go to Graceland?
Of course, I really want to. Actually, we hate days off. We're hard workers. We don't want to be there doing tourism. First day off we ever asked, it's the after Gunner Festival, 1 day off in Memphis.
Got to.
So
Get some
if
good
you
pictures
have some
there.
recommendation, of course, we're gonna have
Good pictures and post them on your Facebook and website.
Yeah, we will. It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you guys for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. You guys are incredible. I love the sound, love the band.
Pleasure.
All the best to you. Your bookers are incredible, by the way. They're doing a great job. Just tell them to, mention Florida to them if you can, so I can go see you guys.
But actually, I was already making a plan for another tour in the east, mid. So actually, Florida is there, but it's not this time, but maybe next year. So
okay.
If it goes well, next year we're gonna be in Florida.
I can see you guys playing like the Hard Rock. We got a Hard Rock in Tampa, a Hard Rock in Orlando, and there's one in Hollywood. So.
Oh, we just been the one in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walked through. Yeah. We just had some hours off. LA.
Right.
We played LA. We just went around Walk of Fame, and we saw where it is.
Oh, very cool. Well, I'm close to Tampa, the Hard Rock in Tampa, so if you can mention that one,
so you're
that'd be great.
When you're in Florida, you have guest list spots.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
I would love to see you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for being on this show. Appreciate it. All my best to you and the family and everybody.
Thank you, Ray. All the best for you and all the grandchildren, children, and
thank you.
And the project with the book and the CityCom. And hope to see you in Florida when we're there.
Me too. Take care.
Take care, Ray.
Take care.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.